right, we're back here at Content Madness. This is our 5th episode of the day. Sean?
5th episode of the day. We got Cole Ciber here from the Garman Group. Yeah. Cole's a realtor in Delaware. And, dude, thanks for coming.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, thanks, man.
This is so exciting. This is my first podcast I'm actually a guest on.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm used to being in your chair. So
good.
It's kind of nice.
Switch it around a little on you and ask
excited.
you the tough questions.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So to kind of get started, so people know who you are and what you do and stuff, do you want to kind of get into that? Like, how'd you get into what do you do and how did you get into that world?
Yeah. So, as you you guys probably know already, I'm a realtor. So I sell houses in Delaware, mainly focusing on Newcastle County. So there's Delaware split up to 3 counties. I focus on the northernmost county. And I really got into real estate, like mainly in the buyers. And then most recently I've kind of drifted towards listings and focusing on sellers just since the team has grown. I'm on a team of 7 down in Wilmington, Delaware. And I'm also getting into property management as well. So helping run a new property management company down there. We're currently managing 30 to 35 doors in Wilmington and just slowly growing that. So yeah, I wear a lot of hats. Right now.
I think you have to, right? I mean, in that business, there's no one-trick ponies. They're not really out there. You kind of have to do a lot of different things. And
yeah, 100%. And that's like the very, very brief recap of what I do.
Sweet. No,
yeah, there's a lot that goes into each one of those. Yeah, there's a lot of roles, but yeah, I do a lot.
You're from Delaware originally?
From Delaware, yep. I was born and raised in Delaware in Wilmington. Went to St. Anne's School down in Wilmington. Went to Salesianum All Boys Catholic School in Wilmington. Oh, wow. And then, pretty much went to University of Delaware and came back to Wilmington. So furthest I made it out for a long period of time was Newark.
Okay.
Which was 20 minutes away.
So we got you out of Delaware.
Yeah, got me in the Westchester, and I'm loving it. Anytime I can escape Delaware, I love it.
We'll get you out more then. But okay, so you're a big Delaware guy. Why have you stuck there and made that your home base? Like, what do you love about Delaware? What's so great about it?
It is so great. No, it's got its ups and downs. I like Delaware a lot because, you know everybody. And, there's pros and cons that come with knowing everybody. But when you go to the same... So I'm wearing a hat, 19806. So Newcastle County is made up, or at least northern Newcastle County is made up of 12 zip codes. And Wilmington's made up of only 4 zip codes. So 19806 is the zip code where I grew up, and where our office is located now, and kind of where we do the majority of our business. So when you grow up in one zip code, and you go K through 8 in one zip code, 9 through 12, and then you live there your whole life. You know everybody. Everybody knows you, and as long as that reputation's decent, it's kind of nice knowing everybody. You walk down the street, people are saying hi. It's a friendly neighborhood, and there's not really any reason to leave except for weather and, expanding horizons. But, I don't really need to leave any longer than a week, honestly.
As long as you're having fun and you love it. Do you have family in the area and still in there?
Yeah. I have a brother. My mom is there still. A couple aunts and uncles. And then my dad actually recently moved to Key West. So,
man.
My dad did 24 years with Wilmington Police and then ended up moving down to Key West when he retired. So.
Goals.
Yeah, living the life.
Just
collecting a pension on the southernmost point of the United States, which is it's insane. It's ridiculous. But
it's a good place to be today with, can you believe how cold it is?
I know.
It's just
freezing.
Unbelievable.
And we're supposed to get 2 inches of rain tomorrow, too. It's ridiculous. I was trying to play golf tomorrow. But that's a goal of mine. At some point, make it to Florida. I flew out to San Diego last year for Compass's retreat. We do a yearly retreat out there. And San Diego was gorgeous. It was just a little too expensive.
I think that's the most expensive
area
in the country, I think.
Yeah, my Uber drivers were driving me around. They're like, oh yeah, I pay $4,500 a month for a 2-bed, 1-bath apartment. I'm like, oh, okay. And they're like, yeah, that's kind of on the lower end. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm never moving here.
It is totally different.
Yeah,
you can't even imagine. But gorgeous. I haven't been there, but I've heard
it's beautiful.
unbelievable.
It's
the
beautiful.
spot. I mean, that's why it's the most expensive. actually.
Yeah, you kind of get what you pay for.
Yeah.
like when I'm
nice.
riding in the car and I'm like, all right, yeah, that's really expensive, but at the same time, you get what you pay for. You get the nice weather year round. The city itself, like, it gets a bad rap. Like, California in general kind of gets a bad rap. I've never been. Well, November was my first time there. But I feel like it gets a bad rap. It was pretty clean. Like, I explored the whole city from La Jolla to Little Italy to, what's the island? Shoot, begins with a C.
Oh yeah, with the
Marines and the
yeah,
Navy SEAls.
yeah.
I forget what it's called now. But yeah, beautiful city. Like I saw every little bit of it. Even Pacific Beach, even I guess that's like the college town, the party town. Beautiful. Yeah, I loved it there. But
Cali dreams, man.
yeah, it's like the furthest I can get from Delaware.
And everyone's leaving there now, but
yeah,
at some point people
San
are going to
Diego's very
gravitate
nice.
back.
Yeah.
It's super nice.
Have you been there?
Yeah, I just went for the first time in October.
Oh, okay.
Man, it is perfect.
So you were just there.
Just there.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the month before you were.
Coronado.
Yep.
Yeah.
Super nice. A lot of great restaurants. You
The
know,
food.
it's top notch.
Oh my
Top notch.
Yeah, I'll go back there in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Just a 7-hour flight.
Does not live there. Yeah, I was going to say the flight. I don't
And
do
the flight
is
flights
rough.
well. But
Yeah, I'm a big weekend trip guy. So like I'll pick a spot. I'll go there for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday,
Oh, that's nice.
and then just come back. Yeah.
I love that stuff too. I love exploring. I love exploring new towns. Like
Yeah.
like go there, get a meal, stay a night.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't need to go any longer. I can see what I need to see in 4 days. Like anything I need to hit, I can do it in like 3 to 4 days. So yeah,
I agree.
I'm the exact same.
Any
way.
longer, I just like I don't want to come back. I don't want to come back to Delaware. I'm like I know I need to go back, so I'm not staying any longer than 4 days.
Yeah, that's.
But
I mean, Cali's awesome. So tell us a little bit about Garman Group. I know I've been following the whole group. You guys have got like this like bar stool type mentality
Yeah.
for real estate, which I think is so cool and fascinating and just like it's just fun, man. Like so, you look like you guys have an absolute blast every single day, and I'm like,
yeah, and that's
almost
like,
jealous. You
that's
know?
pretty much how we sum it up to other people too. We just like to have fun. As long as people see that we're having fun, they're gonna want to have fun with us. We've been doing monthly happy hours, monthly coffee events for the past 3 years now. We welcome everybody. We send out emails to everybody from past clients to active clients to people we know around the neighborhood to business owners, everybody. And yeah, we just really try to like connect as much as we can, whether it's us with other people with other people, and just trying to be connectors and do the best we can. But yeah, it's more than a real estate group at this point. It's more of a brand. To your point, it's like a barstool vibe.
Yeah.
We go about our day and we have as much fun as we can, and somehow we make money. like somehow it happens. Just like you watch the barstool clips and you're like, oh my god, like
Yeah, I feel like
these guys, they don't do anything all day. I feel like people look at us the same way. Like, what the hell do these guys do all day?
But we see you see you guys hustling and doing
Yeah.
stuff. It's not all fun and games, but
Yeah, mixed into the goofy TikToks and the dances are, listing videos and the buyer consultations and advice and this and that. But yeah, that's pretty much all we do is just have fun. Yeah, and then, like we were talking about before we jumped on, we have the merch now. So this was part of our first line that we dropped. So we did sweatshirts, quarter zips, and beanies. That was like winter 2021. And then summer of 2022, we dropped T-shirts, trucker hats, what else? Something other summer. I think we dropped a pair of shorts too, with like the GG logo. This winter, we ended up dropping joggers. We did joggers.
That's awesome. Man.
We did baby onesies this year, which has been a huge hit. People love the baby onesies. So every time we see someone have a baby, we put it right in the mail. Here's the GG onesie, and they post up a picture with it. It's great. Then we did another round of beanies, and then we've gotten into koozies, pens, and then we've gotten into like this kind of stuff too, where it's not necessarily specific to Garman Group, but we're selling hats like this, T-shirts that are kind of more Trolley Square, Wilmington, Delaware branded, and we're donating the proceeds from that money to different organizations. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we did this year we did a St. Patrick's Day shirt, a Wilmington St. Patrick's Day shirt. We spelled Wilmington on the front, and we just kind of threw the GG in with the G in Wilmington. And then we donated all the proceeds from that T-shirt to the people who put on the St. Patrick's Day parade.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so we're getting into like more of that stuff too, which is really fun. Just
giving back and if you're participating in those stuff, you're just helping build it and make it better. I mean,
exactly.
That's what you want to do, and that's what, as a business person and being in the community, I mean, what else could you ask for?
It's kind of the best part. Yeah. The giving back part, as corny as it sounds, like, giving that donation, like seeing the receipt come back and getting the thank you letter, it's like, yeah, all right, we did a good thing here.
Yeah. That's what you want to be doing for sure.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's also good for the marketing budget too. We have a team marketing budget, and then like when we're just giving out all this merch that we buy just for free to all these people, it's like, oh man, what did we spend all that money on? But we do get first dibs on it, so I do have 2 pairs of joggers. I have 2 of these sweatshirts, so I got a little bit.
You gotta rock your own stuff, though.
Yeah, I take a little bit off the top before we go giving it away to everybody.
You gotta keep the doors running and everything too.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
What so I'm not really too familiar with Delaware. I don't really know the area and Wilmington and I mean, you've been there your whole life. What have you seen the city grow and how has it changed and just tell me about like what's so great about like why should I head down to Wilmington to check it out?
Yeah, it's the $1 million question, right? Like why would I go to Delaware when I have Philadelphia and I have call it like down in Annapolis and Baltimore, then DC and New York. Why go to Delaware?
Sure.
Our question is why go anywhere else? Like especially for the people who are born and raised in Delaware, like a lot of times what we see is people graduating from University of Delaware and they want to do like a year, 2 years in Philly, and we're like, why?
Yeah.
Why do you want to go to Philly for 2 years just to come back? Like, just stay here and like establish yourself. So, Delaware is super cool. Wilmington is super cool because it's so small, right? And like Philly's so big, Baltimore's so big, New York is obviously massive. You can't really you have to travel a lot of pretty far distances to get a little bit of everything and feel different vibes. Wilmington, you walk 2 blocks and you're in a different vibe. So, we have our little Italies and we have a neighborhood called the 40 Acres, which is kind of like our Irish part of town. And then we have, Trolley Square, which is where the 196 comes from.
I see. I don't know.
So,
I've seen a million. Yeah. I'm like, what is this trolley? Like, is there a trolley that runs through there?
So there used to be.
Okay.
There used to be. At some point, there was a trolley that ran through Trolley Square, and it's pretty much, it's like media. It's like it's like 2 blocks of media. If you took everything in media and you shrunk it down to 2 blocks, that's Trolley Square. So like it's bars, it's restaurants, it's grocery stores, it's banks. It's got everything. You can live within 5 blocks of there, and you don't need to leave there, which is super cool.
I love. First off, I just love that walkability, being
so nice.
Can't beat that.
Being in a neighborhood type feel. I can only see myself living in that type of environment. So that sounds right up my alley.
Yeah, and it's got condo buildings there, but it's not real grand condo buildings. Like we do have we only have 2 really nice tall condo buildings in that Trolley Square area, but they're newer. Everything else was built in 1930, 1940, and it's been there forever. So
you can't keep these condo buildings out. I mean, we got 3 coming up in Westchester here.
Yeah,
a couple hundred units each. It's like wow.
And that's something that Wilmington's really doing a good job of. So the Buccini Pulling Group is doing a lot of development down in Wilmington. They're doing a lot of work to kind of revitalize the downtown area. So adding new restaurants, bringing new businesses into town, and then building apartment buildings, luxury apartment buildings, and condos. Just kind of going up with Wilmington. Wilmington can't go out, so we need to start going up. Like if you look at the Wilmington skyline, you're like, oh, is that a city? like you have no idea what it is. Like we have a couple big Chase Bank buildings and Bank of America buildings, but we don't really have the skyscrapers of residential units and stuff like that. So that's something Wilmington's really been doing a good job of building, and it's it doesn't happen overnight. It's a 10, 20, 30, 40-year plan, and I would say we're in year 5 to 10 of that.
Oh, wow.
That's like really starting to, crank up a little bit. But yeah, I think a huge
Start somewhere, right?
Yeah, 100%. And a huge attraction in Wilmington is like those smaller, luxury like restaurants, shops, that you wouldn't get in like a large area like Philadelphia, like
neighborhood type feel.
Yeah.
That's what I like. You
It's
kind
the
of
best.
you walk out, you kind of know your neighbors, you know who's running the store down the block. You can say what up to them. That I love that type of feel.
Yeah,
It
and
sounds
the highest end restaurant in Wilmington, call it Bardea Restaurant, Bardea Food and Drink, or Bardea Steak, which is a huge restaurant we have down there. We get athletes that go from the Sixers and comedians that come into town. They all go to Bardea. We had the BMW Championship there last year at Wilmington Country Club. So that was like a huge hotspot for people to eat because it's basically the highest of highest restaurants that we have. But you'll see the owner walking around Acme and Charlie Square all the time. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah. All right, you're one of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Wilmington's a lot like that, as is the entire state of Delaware.
That tournament I went to that. That was awesome. That was
Yeah,
fun. They did a really good job.
I volunteered there.
Oh, you did?
I signed up to volunteer, and when you signed up to volunteer, you had to pay like $200, and you got 2 Peter Millar like BMW polos. You got a quarter zip. You got a hat. You got obviously a pass for all 4 days, and they had me on parking duty. So like I was working the front gate, and like people were like, "Oh, can I park here?" I'm like, "No." And then like second day, they had me like working the crosswalks, like I was stopping traffic so people could cross the street. And I'm like, this sucks.
They gave you you want to be on like
worst.
you want to be holding the scorecard or something.
So
like, on the whole, like, oh, you can't walk up to the green. Sorry.
Yeah, and they gave those opportunities to members of Wilmington Country Club. So I'm a member down at DuPont Country Club, which is a little smaller and not quite as prestigious as Wilmington. But anybody who was a member at Wilmington Country Club that wanted to volunteer, they got those jobs. Doing standing behind the tee boxes, doing whatever. But after the second day, so that was Wednesday, Thursday, I worked. I'm like, I'm not working this weekend. I'm like, there's like 65, 75-year-old guys who are like so happy doing this job. Yeah. I'm like, I'm going inside. I skipped the rest of the day. I'm like, I'm going
That's
inside.
Tough. I mean,
I'm
parking
taking my
duty
pass
for a whole 6-7 days.
So
the practice rounds,
it was 5 days. It was Wednesday to Sunday. Yeah.
Oh man, that's rough.
That would be tough.
Brutal.
Yeah, I couldn't
Brutal.
imagine.
I wasn't doing that. One cool thing, they did end up moving me on my first day. They're like, oh yeah, we need help down by the trucks. So they had the adjustment trucks for like Ping and Callaway and all that.
Oh, nice.
And I did get to meet Adam Scott. He was driving back on a golf cart from the driving range to get his driver or whatever adjusted. And I'm like, wait, are you Adam Scott? He's like, yeah. I was like, Cole Ciber, good to meet you. Sent him on his way. He's like, dude, I don't know who you are, but like, you're obviously a volunteer. You're not supposed to be talking to me. But yeah.
You got something out of it. That's sweet.
I did. I got something out of it.
That's cool. I was there, and I was on, I forget the holes because I got mixed up, but the one before you're up on the highest point when you're shooting down on the drive.
So they mixed up some of the holes. So Wilmington originally was mixed up, like they changed 9 to 11, and then they put like 1, so it's hard to remember.
So I'm not sure, but the one hole before that, I'm standing there, and I'm with my friend. I'm like, dude, I just heard a ball. I swear to God, I just heard a ball. And there's a ball like really close. I'm like, oh, there it is. And all of a sudden, they start coming, and it's Jordan Spieth.
Oh, no way.
And so we all line up, and he's got this shot where he has to hit it over, and we're all like right in his eye line. Like,
yeah.
He chunked it. We're probably getting one to the face. So he hits it, and all of a sudden, I don't know where the ball went or anything, but all of a sudden a divot comes, dude, a divot like this big, and lands like literally on top of me.
Oh, I'm throwing it right in my pocket.
The divot was this big, dude.
I'm throwing that right in my pocket.
I was like, oh my gosh, he just hit me. And I was like, where'd the ball go? So he hit me with a divot, but that was my highlight of the tournament.
Yeah. Meeting Adam Scott was cool and all, but I think the grand highlight was just like all the athletes eating at our restaurants, like all the restaurants in and around Wilmington, even the ones that like I don't even consider to be very good, like they loved them. I'm like, oh,
sure.
wow. Okay, like Rory McIlroy at this place called Capers and Lemons. He loved it. I do not like capers and lemons too much. It's like super fancy and like prissy Italian food. I'm like, gotcha. I can do fancy Italian food here and there, but like they try to do too much. We'll say.
Oh, okay.
They do too much to their chicken piccata.
Is there a certain local restaurant you want to give a shout out to?
What's your spot? If I'm going down there,
Yeah.
For Matt's trying to,
I'll be down
hit
there
up
this weekend.
Wilmington.
Okay, you'll be down there this weekend. Oh no, you should. Yeah, let's meet up.
What restaurant should I go to?
Where are we going?
So
Or
it depends
taking
what you're
us
looking
to
for.
You're taking us to a restaurant. You're like,
Yeah.
this is the spot to show you
Right.
Wilmington.
Okay, well, if I'm trying to wine and dine you guys, I'm probably taking you downtown. We're going to Bardea.
Okay, so the
Like
hot spot.
like I mentioned, they're super good friends of ours as well, so I have to give them a shout out. And then we got our first rooftop bar last year. It's called The
let's
Point.
go.
It's a little like boutique / hotel. It's like a real small building. But yeah, we did just get our first rooftop bar, so if the weather's nice, I would definitely recommend there.
That's true.
Otherwise, I would recommend this place called El Diablo. So El Diablo, they have like 5 locations now throughout Delaware. It's basically Chipotle, but like with all local ingredients. So all their ingredients are sourced locally, and they definitely take care of you a little more than Chipotle does. Yeah.
I'm like a Chipotle fiend.
Oh,
Might have to
everything.
every
If
week.
you can think of anything you would get at Chipotle, El Diablo does it 10 times better.
Man. Might
It's
have to
so
go.
good.
Now we know the
Now,
spot. That's the
lunch.
spot we're going.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
they have
that's
one
it.
in Brandmore Shopping Center. They have a
Okay.
location
Oh, okay.
there, which is a little closer to you guys.
Yeah.
And
Start
then
looking out for
Newark and 2 in Wilmington. Yeah.
That's my stuff right there.
Yeah, that sounds right up my alley.
Yeah. That's the place to go.
So as far as I know, you're a big golf guy. You're a big pickleball guy. So you're a member at DuPont.
Mhm.
They have 36 holes or something like that.
Yeah. So
What's
they
their
have
setup?
36 holes, 2 courses. They have a main course and then like a little. I think we call it DuPont is the main course, and then Nemours, which is not necessarily the practice course, but it's not quite as hard.
Okay.
It's a little more fun. And then we have a 9-hole executive as well there. So 7 par 3s and 2 par 4s. That's the perfect little practice course. Yeah, I like DuPont a lot because they just invest all your money back into golf, and I feel like that's all I need. Like,
Yeah.
If I'm paying a membership every month, like I want to see it come back into the course, and you see it. And then pickleball. So I actually recently started a pickleball club.
Okay.
Down in Wilmington, yeah. So we get like 30 to 40 people out there every week at the local courts, right in Trolley. Wednesday nights at 5 o'clock, and we all just go out there and ball out and pickleball.
That sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
That sounds.
It's a
fantastic.
great time. It is a great time. I have like 1 court reserved for people who don't know how to play, and I'm like, if you go here, we'll keep someone here to like kind of teach you how to play,
Right.
but like otherwise, these other couple courts
You could probably get into
are
it.
they get
Yeah.
competitive. But yeah, I'm out there playing music. We get drinks going. It's fun.
Trolley sounds like the spot.
Yeah.
Man.
It's a great time.
Sounds
And like Trolley's interesting because call it 10 blocks. Say Trolley Square / 40 acres is 10 blocks long. Half of it is the demographic is probably 24 to 35, and the other half the demographic, and it's literally split between a line. The other half is 45 to 75. Yeah,
Oh.
it's insane. Yeah, so all the parties happen on one side of Trolley. All the people go to sleep at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock at night on the other side.
That's funny. I like how it has the line divided.
And there's a clear border.
Yeah.
And it ends right after the bars end. So like all the bars are down like the main street. We call it Delaware Ave. It's called Delaware Ave.
Gotcha.
And as soon as you get past the bars, it's just Scott Street is the border.
Okay.
Nothing happens past Scott Street. It's bad.
Why did you choose to go to DuPont Country Club? What do you like about it there?
So they were all really the main reason they were offering a discount for people under 35. They were trying to get their membership up for younger people. Like the initiation fee at Wilmington's like $50,000, and the initiation fee at DuPont at the time for people under 35 was $2,500. I'm like, oh, okay, that's manageable.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Somewhat writing it off, maybe here and there. I can take clients there for lunch. I can take clients there to golf, and it's just made sense.
Yeah.
It's $75 for a guest to play golf there, whereas like the local course that's a cow pasture is $65. So
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
What's your favorite course you've ever played? If you had to
That's
pick
tough.
one. You've had to have played it.
Yeah. Not necessarily at DuPont. You're talking.
I'm talking courses.
You're talking all the time.
When you're like, I got to go back there. That's my spot.
So there's a place. It's called Bitterman. Have you heard of Bitterman? Yeah.
I've heard.
Bitterman is beautiful. I played that course. I played terrible, but I played that course last year. It was gorgeous. And then Fieldstone is another one down in Delaware, like Greenville area. Super private, and we do our alumni golf outing for high school there every year. So yeah, I get to play that every year. It's so hard, but it's so nice.
I've played Fieldstone. I love it.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough one.
I walked it too. It was like
it's hilly.
Yeah, you gotta take the carts up sometimes.
Yeah,
it's an unbelievable course. I haven't played Bitterman. I've heard it's the spot, like the low key.
Yeah.
Key
Not
spot.
many people like hit it up too much. Not many people know that it's such a nice course, but it is gorgeous.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
And I've only been able to play there one time. I'm trying to get back there.
Well, if you say it's a really nice course, a really good course, and you play bad there, I feel like that says something. Because typically it's like, oh, I shot my best round at this course. I love that course now.
Right,
you know what I mean?
No, Fieldstone is one of my worst rounds ever, but it was beautiful.
That's awesome. And what made you start the whole pickleball? What made you get into it? Like, were you a pickleball player before you started that?
Yeah.
I know that's a relatively new.
It is, yeah. I was playing for like 6 months before I started like the little club. But honestly, I sat down with Vince, my team lead Vince Garman, and his wife Mary Kate Garman, who are both kind of head up our team. And we sat down together, and they're like, yeah, you need more ways to lead gen. I'm like, okay, like I want to lead gen in ways that like I enjoy. So yeah, I just started this little pickleball thing, and what I do is I do a cooler of water bottles. So in the summertime, it's really nice because people are drinking hella water. Yeah. But I bring a cooler with ice and water bottles, and I put a real estate label around the water bottle.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's got my face on it, my name, my number, and a QR code to my Instagram page.
There we go.
And yeah, people eat that up.
I'm sure
I haven't gotten a lead from it yet, but like it takes time. So.
Yeah, I mean, longevity.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna come around.
But we're out there every Wednesday, so as long as we're out there every Wednesday,
and you're having fun anyway. Like,
yeah.
Even if
awesome.
you don't get a lead, like.
Yeah, and making friends too. Like making a lot of friends who are just like, oh yeah, we moved to Wilmington for work. We work at Chase or we work at JP Morgan, whatever. I'm like, oh, all right, let's go out this weekend.
Pickle it up.
Yeah.
Are you seeing like the same people keep coming back, or is it a lot of new people each time you host it?
Yeah, it's the same. We get regulars.
Okay.
Yeah, we have regulars who are there all the time and come on Wednesday nights at 5. And then those people tell their friends, and we have an Instagram page for it. And we hit 100 followers in like 2 days. I was like, oh shit, this might actually take off a little bit. And
We'd
then
have to restrict the people.
Yeah, and then we like took a break in the wintertime because it's all outdoors. And we're like, I'm not doing that.
No,
outdoors.
that's a different beast.
Yeah, I'm not playing in 30, 20 degree weather. It's not happening.
Sweaters would be frozen.
Yeah, it's not happening.
There'd be coffees out there.
Yeah, I can't put a label.
No,
on
you
can't. But yeah, we get more and more people every time. People just tell their friends. They share the Instagram page, and I take pictures of people in groups and people with their friends, and I post them to the Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
And then they share it to their stories, and it just kind of rolls
That's the way to do it.
It's the little things sometimes that you don't even realize.
I pay attention to who shows up together. I'm like, let me just snap a picture of you guys. They hold up their paddles. They're all happy, and then they see themselves on the Instagram later.
Or the water bottle.
Yeah. Hold this.
Are you thirsty?
I don't take it that far. But yeah, and then like I said, so we have a Trolley Trends Instagram page that is really just a community page for Trolley, and every time we get a listing in Trolley or there is a listing that pops up, we post that to Trolley Trends, and then I take that on the pickleball Instagram, put it on the pickleball Instagram, and hit up Cole Ciber if you would want to live here, blah 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 blah.
That's genius.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Love that. So, coming out of the hobbies and stuff like that, I want to know, like, how'd you get into real estate? What was like the journey? Why'd you choose that profession? How'd you get involved with the Garman Group? How'd that all come about, and how'd the whole team just like? How'd that all just?
It grew
happen?
fast. But yeah, it's a very long story that I can do my best to make somewhat short. So, went to college, graduated Salesian in 2017. Coming out of Sally's, I was like super lost. I had no clue what I was going to do. I thought I wanted to teach, so I went to University of Delaware. I toured like Newman, like I said, Westchester. I was really interested in both the sales and what was the other school I was into? It was down in I can't remember. I obviously wasn't that interested in it.
Yeah.
It's gonna come to me, but I ended up going to UD just because all my friends were going there. My best friend wanted to room with me, so I was like, all right, I'm all about it.
That's fun. That's good. That's a good way to kick things off
yeah,
too.
like I didn't need to see, like I said, when you go to University of Delaware and you live in Delaware, you see everybody you know, but like wasn't necessarily interested in that, but I wanted someone I knew. I didn't want to go alone.
It is a little scary. Like,
yeah,
I didn't know anyone when I went to school. And it's like
Miller's
it's hard to find your
Millersville.
Millersville was the
okay,
school.
wow.
Yeah.
Gotcha,
Super
Millersville,
interested.
that's far out there.
Yeah. But yeah, those were like the main schools that were offering teachers, education majors, to get into a classroom their first semester.
That's a home run.
Yeah, so that was really my
Can't beat that.
main goal. So I went to University of Delaware. I started as a history education major, and screw history, dude. I was taking history classes at like 8 a.m. on like Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I was falling asleep as soon as I got in there.
That's tough.
And I University of Delaware's campus is super spread out. I lived on North Campus, which was 2 miles from like main campus. Yeah,
man.
so
that's
like,
not happening.
No, I'm not waking up at 7 a.m. Walk into
in the
class
cold,
by 8 a.m.
in the
In a half
winter.
hour.
Oh,
Exactly.
Forget about it, man.
It wasn't happening. So I was getting on this bus and I was crammed in with all these kids trying to get to class by 8 a.m. And history. I was learning about Alexander the Great's nephew at 8 a.m. in the morning. It wasn't happening. Like, screw this. So I dropped that like halfway through my first semester. I was like, okay, I'll take up English because I always loved writing. I still do love writing. So picked up English, and then they got me into a classroom my second semester. So made it through my first semester. I was failing most of my classes. Like, honestly, just smoking weed and sleeping all day.
Sure.
Like, not doing anything. I was like, dude, this sucks.
You get into college and you don't know what you're getting into either.
Exactly. Like my checking account had finally hit 0. Like, I'm like, all right, I'll try the second semester. Maybe I'll pick up a job. Whatever. Didn't get a job. Got into the English education department, and they got me into a classroom, into a high school called Howard High School, down in Delaware, and down in Wilmington. And it's a VOTEC school, but it's very much inner city. So it was a rough school. Girl had been she'd been beat to death there like 2 years prior. So like I was already like a little sketched out, like going into this classroom.
It's intimidating.
It's very intimidating, yeah. And you know, like I had grown up in Wilmington. Like I said, my dad was a police officer there for 24 years, so he's warning me. He's like, "Oh, you're going to a bad part of town." I'm like, "All right, I'm trying to be open-minded here, and you're not helping me."
It's not helping my psyche right now.
Exactly.
I'm trying to go into this sort of
educational
mindset.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to help these kids. So our job was to help them write their college essays, basically, do our best to do that. And I'm trying to teach the kids, and like the first thing I learned, and it was probably the most important thing I learned, some kids want to learn, some kids do not. And you can't force the kids who do not want to learn to learn. So, we're in class, and the kids who do not want to learn are very loud, they're very rowdy. And, like, I gave up. Like, I'm a freshman in college. Like, I'm 2 years older than these kids. I'm still 18. I'm in no position to, like, discipline these kids at all. Their teacher's uninterested, scrolling on Instagram in the back of the room. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm just going to talk over them. Like, I can be loud. So they're going to be loud. I can be louder and talk to the kids who want to learn. And then I got in trouble for yelling. I was yelling at the kids. I'm like, I'm teaching, like, audibly so they can actually hear me. No, it wasn't happening. So once I got in trouble for all that, and I got in a little more trouble on campus, I was out of there. And then once I left there, I basically hit the gym because I put on my freshman 15 was a freshman 25. So I got into the gym. Like I said, I was not in a good headspace my freshman year of college.
Most people, I feel like you fall into one of the. You're either crushing it or you're like,
or
whoa, this is a whole new world. I'm on my own.
Right, and I definitely I could have done it if I had gone to a different school, I definitely could have done it. I could still go back and do it, but I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Like, there was no desire to or drive to do it. So, got out of school, ended up going joining like a CrossFit gym up in Wilmington, back closer to home. And
That'll get you going.
yeah. And I was living with my dad at the time, and he's in my ear just chirping me. He's like, you need a job. I'm like, I know. And he's like, well, maybe you should go out for the police academy, Wilmington Police Academy. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm trying to get in shape. Like, it could like fit the path.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've thought about it before, but like, I don't know if it's what I really want to do. And he's like chirping me about the salary. They're doing starting salaries, and you know, you're 20 years old. You can retire in 20 years with a pension for the rest of your life. I'm like, oh, retirement at 40 doesn't sound too bad as long as I live through it.
True.
Yeah, it's a war zone out there right now. And then, like, keep in mind, like, this was like right before all like the George Floyd stuff started popping off and all that stuff. So
you didn't even know about that.
No, that stuff was coming.
Right.
So thank God that didn't work out. But ended up getting a couple different jobs. I worked as a dishwasher. I worked as a server. I did glass. That was my job coming out of college. I did construction for the first like year or two, and that sucked. Like working out in the heat all day. I was wearing two t-shirts in the summertime just so that I could strip one because I was sweating through it. I'm like, I'm not gonna sweat through one t-shirt and then not have anything to wear. So I was wearing two t-shirts in the 100-degree heat, like replacing glass windows in like these shitty apartment buildings.
Oh.
It was terrible. But my uncle owned the company, so I was making decent money, enough to like buy myself food. But I was still living with my dad. Once I got out of there, went out for Wilmington Police Academy. I was the last person to be cut.
Oh.
So I passed the polygraph. I did the physical. I did this, that, and the other. And while I was in the police academy, I ended up meeting Vince and Mary Kate. So Vince Garman, Mary Kate Garman, Mary Kate now Garman, who were going to the gym with me. So we were the three youngest people at the gym. I was 20 at the time. They were 25-ish. And we were all just kind of partying it up at the gym. Like, three youngest people there, we were all working out together. And, like, CrossFit is huge into, like, the partner workouts and stuff like that. So, every time we worked out together, we were just working out together. And we ended up growing super close. And after I got cut, like, they would show up to my physical tests for the Women's Police Department. Like, they were super supportive no matter what I wanted to do. And once I got cut from that, I was like, okay, I should probably just go back to school. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I should probably just go back to school. So still living at home, ended up going back to the community college in Wilmington, and I have epilepsy too. So when I went back to the community college, I started having seizures real bad.
Scary.
Yeah. Ended up losing my license for like a year. So I was walking 3 miles from class to the gym. I was class at 8 a.m., the gym by 11, walking 3 miles back to class for a 2 o'clock class, walking 3 miles back to the gym, and I would do a double workout at the end of the day, so 4 then 5 o'clock. So I was working out 3 times a day, Jeez. Also walking 6 to 9 miles a day. So I was in unbelievable shape. Then I spent thousands of dollars on Ubers throughout that year. Ended up getting my license back. Still in school, ended up graduating with my associates, and Vince is like, what are you doing right now? I'm like, nothing, dude. Like, I have an associate's of the arts degree from University of Delaware. That was one cool thing. Even though I went to the community college, UD let me take their courses. So technically my degree is from University of Delaware.
Oh, okay. That is.
Yeah, it was really nice. It was much cheaper, too.
Oh, yeah,
but he's like, what are you doing right now? I'm like, nothing, dude. I'm just working out 3 times a day. I just got my license back. I got nothing to do. He's like, do you want to come work for me? I'm like, sure. So Vince at the time was just working by himself. His business was kind of starting to take off a little bit, and he needed help. So we would go to Barnes & Noble, and I would basically go on all his showings with him. I would collect all the business cards. So whenever people do a showing, they leave a business card, usually on the kitchen counter, kitchen table. I would collect all of them, even though they're for the listing agent, and I would log all their names into an Excel spreadsheet. That was my job. So basically, he was tracking what other agents were showing the houses he was showing and using me to do it.
You're an analytics guy.
Yeah, at the time I was, and I'm not an analytics guy.
Before analytics was analytics.
Yeah, I'm not an analytics guy. So, I was doing that, and then he was still at EXP at the time. And then eventually he was thinking about making the move to Compass. And once we came over to Compass, he's like, all right, dude, you either need to fully jump into being my assistant or fully jump into being an agent, because like I need help. I need people to show houses, host open houses,
Nice.
take over clients. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm getting my license, dude. I just watched how much money you made last year. Yeah, I'm getting my license. So ended up getting licensed after we came over to Compass. We hired another girl, and Compass opened up like their first office in Delaware, but there was not like an official opening, and we were stuck in like this hamster ball of a room for our office. And then we brought over the biggest team in Delaware, the Mottola Group, and the Mottola Group took our office. Like we had like nice window seats, and it was beautiful, but it was small. And the Mottola Group took us over, so we ended up going back to Vince's house. He had an 850 square foot 2-bed 1-bath in Trolley, and we were working at his house. I was working off his high school beer pong table. He had a little desk. Like we were back to back in like his second bedroom.
Yeah.
But we were working. The assistant was next to me, and we were just in there grinding every day. I still have the pictures that pop up on like my
so
Snap
cool.
memories.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I love that.
it's cool.
That's the stuff you look back and you're like, dude,
You're like, holy shit.
These
How
are the
did we do
days
that?
too, though. That sure
Yeah,
was fun.
no air conditioning in the house. We had one window unit. It was so hot on the second floor. It was brutal. But yeah, I was basically spending every single day with him and his wife, or his girlfriend at the time. And then obviously helping him grow the business, you just kind of grow closer. So from there, we just kind of kept at it, kept going at it. We lost the assistant. She was no longer with us. She didn't work out. But we did get a transaction coordinator from Compass, which was awesome. But then we were like, all right, we need like a person to like help us like push the business. Like we're pushing the clients, we're bringing in money, but like we need someone to like push the business. And his wife, who is like one of the most anal people I've ever met, who's also like very driven. Like she's very like on us. She was working in commercial real estate at the time. She'd been working in commercial real estate for 6 years. And he's like, why don't you just come work with us? And she's like, I don't think so. I have a salary, I have health insurance, blah, 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 blah. And we were like, you should really come work with us. Like, we could be making way more money than we are right now. So she did end up coming over. And as soon as she came over, we bought, or they meaning Mary Kate, bought a corner building in Trolley Square. So it's pretty much, we look out our front door, it's like a fishbowl. It's like all glass around the front. We look out our front door, it's all the bars, the Trolley. So we have a front row seat to where everything's happening.
Nice.
So she bought that building, has 3 units up above. And yeah, from there, I ended up recruiting one agent. Vince recruited another agent. The one I recruited kind of heads up our buyer team now. The one Vince recruited kind of does a little bit of everything. Jade Ruff and Connor Tutzelo, he does a little bit of everything. And then, yeah, from there, we've kind of slowly split into like a listing team, which me and Mary Kate make up, and a buying team, which Vince and Jade make up. And then last year we brought on a part-time agent who kind of runs our showings, anything that we really don't have time for, and she also runs all of our rentals. So any renters that we get in that we eventually want to convert to a buyer, she kind of handles all that.
Crazy how it
Wow.
all comes together.
Yeah.
That's an awesome story.
Yeah, there's a
cool.
lot that was skipped there between
Sure.
now and purchasing the building, but yeah, once we purchased the building, touch on this too. Like I said, it came with 3 apartment units above. That's what kind of kicked off the property management business. So Mary Kate and Vince both started in property management down in Newark on UD's campus. So Mary Kate started her own property management business. It's called Trolley PM. And I slowly started getting involved with Trolley PM, and yeah,
Makes sense.
It's like a nice little side hustle. It's like we have
sure.
these 35 doors, and we're trying to expand it more. That we're just managing for these people, and we charge 5% on our property management, whereas every other property management company is charging 10%. People love us. We're like, we don't really we don't really need to charge 10%.
Right.
Like, we're not paying your mortgage for you.
Right.
All we're doing is collecting rent and placing tenants. So,
Man, that's
I
crazy,
love that.
man.
Yeah.
It's crazy how it all kind of came together. It's almost, you look back and you're like, it's meant to be. Like, you getting cut and the whole situation, joining the gym because of Delaware. It's like it really, truly all comes together.
it all falls into place. Yeah, and shortly after I met Mary Kate, I found out that her family has been friends with my family for 25, 30 years. So, like, I'm like, oh, I've probably met you before.
That's so crazy.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then, they have 2 kids now. Girl on our team, Jade, the one I recruited, she's getting married in May. Things are just kind of growing, but, I see, all 6 of these people every single day. Like,
That's awesome.
every single day the past 4 years, I think I've spent with Mary Kate and Vince, for better or worse. But
you're like you're like the third in the marriage. Almost.
I am.
Isn't there like a movie about that?
I'm basically a resident babysitter at this point. But yeah, it's I feel like if you want to grow the business and you want to grow it fast, it's kind of the best thing to do.
And to learn, I mean, to be kind of just in the same room at all times, just seeing it. I mean, how could you? What's a better environment to learn? Hands-on, just being there, present every single moment.
Yep.
I mean, you're living the education.
Yeah, literally, that's literally all I've done the past. I'll be 3 years in this June. I actually got my license on their wedding day. But I'll be 3 years in this June, and like that's basically all I've done the past 3 years. It's just like I've kind of started to carve my own path, but all the while just like constantly looking over his and Mary Kate's shoulder and like learning.
Yeah.
Like that's it's, like you said, it's the best way to learn. And like I've been looking for a Cole Ciber for my business. Like,
Sure.
Hey, like, do you want to come learn real estate? Because like I could use some help. Like I'm starting to get a little busy. Nobody wants to like just look over your shoulder and learn. Like I'm like, I'll give you $10 an hour to just like come in and help. No, nobody wants to just come in. No, they need. I don't know if they just don't have like the grind or the hustle. Like I just didn't have any options. That's why I did it. Like I had no other options. Like I think everybody I've been asking has just got so many options. Like this is the least attractive. But quick shout out to our boy Pat Elliott too. He's our most recent hire. He does all of our social media. So if you look up the Garman Group, if you look up Trolley Trends, if you look up any of our personal pages, Pat pretty much handles it all. Our podcast, everything.
I was gonna. I don't know how you guys could possibly do all that stuff. So that makes
that
makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, we were doing it all ourselves until like late last year, and then we met Pat and found out that Vince and Mary Kate actually bought Pat's grandfather's house where he lived for 100 years. It's crazy.
It's a small little world.
it's a small
literally
little state.
10 blocks. Said? I mean,
it's a small little state.
It's for sure.
That's cool. Yeah, Pat crushes it.
Yeah, no, he does an awesome job. I'm always seeing your guys' stuff. You're always doing some fun, cool things. And
we try to have fun, and we try to take him everywhere we go. We're like, Pat, just keep the camera going.
Right.
Yeah,
like, you're gonna get good
way
stuff.
to do it.
Hey, he's our Mitch. Shout out Mitch.
Shout out Mitch too.
Sweet.
So yeah, I mean, let's get into a couple of these lightning round questions. You think?
Yeah.
Real quick.
Do we need a reset? Do we need a reset, or are we good?
We got 10 minutes.
Okay.
Cool. So we're just whatever first comes to mind, kind of thing.
Nervous.
Nothing crazy. So I'll kick off the first one.
Let's do it.
I mean, we're in March Madness right now. Basketball. Who do you got winning? Have you filled out a bracket and who you got winning?
So I have filled out a bracket.
You're our first one that's filled out a bracket.
Yeah, I filled out a couple. I'm in a couple different pools. I'm not a basketball guy though, not at all. I'm like 1 foot in, 1 foot out on football. I'm a big baseball guy. So this is my first year doing Philly season tickets. But I have Auburn.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. That's
in
okay.
2 of my brackets.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Interesting. Yeah, I had Purdue in my other one.
Okay.
But, we'll see what happens.
Okay. I love it.
It's not neither are perfect.
No.
so we're
They're
1
probably
day
gonna
in,
get-
2 days in. Yeah.
Or by the end of the weekend.
It's gonna be rough.
Good luck. Yeah.
No more teams left.
Yeah, the Kentucky game was nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had Oakland.
predicted that.
Oh, no.
I only have one bracket, so I have Oakland going to the
That's
Sweet 16.
crazy.
Hell,
So,
Sweet 16.
yeah.
Love it though.
Okay, fair enough.
Next
So
question.
that's not all I hit though.
Next question is,
Yeah.
what is your go-to coffee order?
Go-to coffee. So I'm a big tea guy. So I do
okay.
iced matcha.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't do Starbucks anymore. We have a local coffee shop, a good friend of ours just opened. It's called Cafe Karma, down in Delaware. It's right off of 141, but right near Joe Biden's house. But yeah, she just opened up her own coffee shop, and every time I'm there, it's just straight iced matcha.
Nice. Okay.
Every
I've been
time.
getting into tea game lately.
Are you?
Ever since I was sick for a couple weeks, I was like, now I'm a tea guy.
Yeah, and like her coffee shop is like very much built on like health and wellness, whereas Starbucks is just like, let me just dump a whole bunch of sugar in this and like you'll come back for it. So, yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, I
Very
feel
nice.
much more comfortable drinking her tea than I do anybody else's.
Love it.
Favorite cuisine, if you had to choose one. Favorite type of food.
Italian, 100%. Yeah, yeah. I'll eat pasta and gnocchi all day long, all day.
I agree.
Yeah,
Can't go wrong with that.
yeah. We have this little Italian spot. I'll give another shout out to in Trolley. It's called Scalessa's. Best Italian food in Delaware by far. They do a meatball salad. So they do 2
Heard of that.
meatballs with ricotta cheese in like a salad with like a light vinaigrette. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. You would never think of it.
Yeah,
but it is
no.
so good. It is
Okay.
so good.
That's up my alley.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been on a big health kick too recently. So it's been a lot of salmon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with some salmon.
And I'm a big seafood guy too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any good spots in, Delaware for that?
It depends how much money you're looking
Oh,
for.
okay.
There's the cheap spots where they
True.
just fry everything,
Yeah.
and then there's the good spots that, they actually put a little work into it, and that stuff's a little more pricey. But I would say like Phoebe's Fishery, and then if you're in Wilmington, but like if you're really looking for good seafood, you got to go down the beach.
Okay.
Delaware beaches are where
True.
it's at for the seafood.
Awesome. And then do you have a book recommendation that either you're reading now or that you've read in the past for anyone watching this?
Yeah, 100%. So like I can name like the basic ones. What's his name? The Navy SEAL. Black guy.
Goggins.
The Goggins
Oh,
books.
yeah,
Yeah.
Goggins.
What is it? Can't Hold Me or
Can't Hurt Me.
Yeah.
Can't Hurt Me.
Yeah.
Can recommend all those. Those are all great. The Rich Dad Poor Dads of the world, the ones everybody would go for.
Sure.
I'm into like the nonfiction right now.
Okay.
So I'm reading a book right now called Killing Pablo. It's about the story of finding Pablo Escobar.
Oh, shoot.
And it's very similar to Narcos, but it's a little more in depth into like, what goes after it. And then I just read another book. It's called Live to Play. That's another good one. It's a little more self-helpy.
You gotta mix those in.
Yeah,
Oh,
you can't just stick to the
Yeah.
nonfiction. You can't. It's like
I like flipping them
poison.
back and forth and stuff too. I got a couple always going just because some of the self-help books or business books I can't read it every day. I'm like once a week or
Yeah.
something, I'll get that, or I can't absorb more than a chapter in a day.
True.
I'm like, that's too much. Like I gotta take it in and think about it before
Yeah.
I get into the next chapter.
Yep. My for any real estate agents that may be watching, my guidebook for real estate is called Full Fee Agent. It was written by the former head of the FBI. He's the former head FBI negotiator, and it is a playbook on how to negotiate with people. Honestly, anybody could read it
That sounds
because
dope. I don't think I've heard of that
if
one.
you need to learn how to talk to people and you need to learn how to get what you want, that's the book to read.
Awesome.
It's
Sounds like a
fantastic.
good one.
Yeah.
All right, last one. What would a perfect day look for you?
A perfect day.
Perfect day.
Perfect day would be summertime. It'd be June. I'm waking up like 7:30 maybe, and I am hitting the office. Hopefully on like a Saturday, because like Saturday office days are the best because people are constantly walking. So like I just keep the door open. People come in, they come out. I get to say hi to everybody. Some tours, maybe like late morning, like 12 o'clock. Get some El Diablo for lunch. And then, maybe an open house from like 1 to 2. We do 1 hour open houses on our team. So open house maybe 1 to 2, and then maybe a little bit of twilight golf. Gym by like 8 or 9, and then bed by 10.
Twilight golf is key.
Oh,
You haven't
it's
got that
unbelievable.
yet.
Yeah,
That's the money spot. Either really first tee time or last tee time.
yeah. I stick to twilight golf. Anytime I can tee off, like 3 to 4 o'clock, that's goals. Yeah, the sunsets over the 13 tee box at DuPont is unbelievable.
Well,
Awesome.
cool, man.
Yeah,
This has been
Yeah, it's been
awesome.
great, man.
yeah. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming
yeah, I'm
on
excited.
and sharing the story and learning about Delaware. I learned a lot about
A
Delaware.
lot about Delaware.
Yeah.
I feel like I know.
There's more
what
to
I'm
learn.
talking
But yeah,
about.
we're gonna have to get you both down
I'll
there.
definitely be going to El
Wow.
Diablo.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the number. That's
Yeah.
the one. If I took away one thing,
Yes.
I'm gonna be hitting that.
If
up.
it's in my perfect day, you have to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah.
amazing. We'll get you on the golf course and stuff too, man.
100%. Yeah, I
Alright.
appreciate you both.
Yeah, dude. Awesome
All right,
meeting.
man. Great meeting you.
Yeah, good to meet you
We
guys.
wanna-